Welcome to the latest edition of How Did I Get Here? Today we have Claire O'Kane on the podcast. Claire is a stand up comic. She is also a writer on the hit TV show Shrill. She's a lovely, wonderful person. We had a great chat, and that's kind of all I can say about it. Uh, we talked about her career path, as every one of these is. So open up a can of mango White Claw and enjoy the show. Claire, hi. Welcome to How Did I Get Here?
Hi, Bacon. Thanks for having me. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, and I hope you appreciate that I'm trapped in a closet for you.
Yeah, I do. That's the thing I appreciate the most, I think,
Yeah,
these days, is that you have to do this in a closet.
if we weren't in the middle of a global pandemic, I would still probably record these in the closet.
Yeah, I understand. Wait,
Yeah,
is it have something to do with the baby around too? Will the baby interrupt?
it's the baby won't interrupt, the cats will.
Ah, okay. Poor
Yeah,
baby.
yeah. Also, there's just the neighborhood that we live in has a lot of jackhammering.
Great.
Like people like I don't think it's a lot of construction. I think jackhammering is just kind of a hobby around here.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, remember how cars used to have whistles on their exhaust pipes?
No, I
Do
did
you
not
remember
know that
that?
was a thing.
Am I for? And I think specifically in Oakland, or there, I think they were on the exhaust pipe. They were on some part of the car where, like, if they went fast or something, just sort of like a high pitched kind of dog whistle.
That's terrible.
Anyway, yeah, it was not cool.
Yeah, so I want to know about you and how you became the comedian that you are today. Uh,
Mhm.
my first question to you is, what was the catalyst for you wanting to try stand up?
Well, I had always been a huge fan of stand up since I was little. I think since I was like maybe elementary school or like fifth grade, sixth grade, when I was old enough to like kind of understand what adults were talking about. And so from then on, I think you know, I took in all of the premium blends, all of the Comedy Central presents, and I became pretty obsessed with it. I never thought I could do it. All I knew is that I wanted to be in the arts somehow. And I was too scared and too shy, I think, to like really pursue acting, which was like the closest thing to what I really wanted to do. Was so I decided to do photography instead, which is like the shy guy's creative outlet. And so up until like I was 20, that's all I was really doing was taking photos and going to art school for 1 year, dropping out. And then my mom passed away of lung cancer. And I was like, you know, it was a very like um kind of cliche, like life is short. Why am I not doing what I want to do? And luckily I was taking a quote unquote sabbatical from learning from school. And I was just in Oakland, literally doing nothing, working at a video store, farting around, spending all this money that I didn't have on cigarettes. And yeah, so pretty much she passed away, and a week later, I did my first open mic.
how'd you prep for that first open mic? And sidetrack, do you still smoke?
No, I quit 2 years ago. I was just
Excellent.
talking. I know and I can't even remember how or why I'd quit. It just happened.
Yeah, it was a kind of dark, like my mom died of lung cancer, so all I did was smoke, kind of.
I did that too. My mom never smoked.
Hmm.
So that's why I was like, that's why I didn't mind smoking,
Mhm.
a pack a day. But yeah, I quit, I think, just as an adult, like, I can't afford this. And I really don't care about doing this anymore.
Fair enough. Okay, so
Yeah.
so how did you prep for your first open mic? Like
I
what did
think,
you do?
well, I told some friends I was going to do it, and they all basically invited themselves to come along.
Mm,
And we looked at, I think there was a class, there was like a stand up comedy class at the art school I went to.
mm,
And as a part of their class, they had to do an open mic at the Brainwash,
mm.
which, as you know, is a laundromat slash cafe slash, I don't think exists anymore. Um, and it was like, that was the place to go for an open mic, I guess, in the
Mhm.
city in San Francisco.
Okay.
Um, so a friend of mine had taken that class, and she's like, "You got to just go to this place. They do it every Thursday." And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go." I kept putting it off. Um, Before my mom got sick, I was like, "Okay, this Thursday I'm gonna go," and I just never went. So I went finally with my friends, and I wrote jokes down, and I timed it out. And I don't do this anymore, but I wrote it out kind of word for word what I was going to say. And then I set it in the mirror and I timed it to make sure it was like however long, 3 minutes or
Mhm.
something like that. And I think I maybe only like practiced like that once or twice. And that all kind of went out the window when I actually got there on Thursday, and I was like, oh, they serve beer here? And I just, my friends and I got drunk, and I was, way at the bottom of the list. They had like 30, 40 people on a list at a time. And I just eked in there because I didn't know anybody and no one was doing me any favors. And yeah, that's how I prepared.
So you basically got drunk and went on at, I'm guessing, 1:40 in the morning or so?
Yeah, definitely way too late. People were like, should we leave? Because, of course, everyone before me was open mic quality comedy. And it's like, you really have to have a certain kind of patience to stick around. You know
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the art of writing a joke, though, like
Mhm.
like did you just kind of pull funny things off the top of your head? How did you learn to craft a joke?
I think it's kind of like, watching TV all day, every day for most of my childhood, and like having a TV in my room, and you just kind of like figure it out. I feel like there's like the the rhythm of comedy becomes inherent if you practice it, and based on what you've seen. So I think I had like seen so much stand up. I knew, like, okay, and I had started listening to Mark Maron's podcast, and I was like, okay, what are they talking about? How do they do it? And it's just like, write about what you know, and write about how you see the world, basically. Something you find weird and absurd about the world, and then write about it. And so I can't. I think my first joke had something to do with being mistaken for a boy a lot of my life. because I was a skateboarder and I was always wearing like hats, and I just dressed pretty gender non-conforming, as we say now, but back then it was you were called a tomboy. Um, and I wrote a joke about that, about not caring about people thinking I'm a man because blah 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 punchline. I cannot remember.
It's okay. I don't need you to recite your
Um,
entire first act on this call.
no. Sure. But yeah, it was basically like I had to write it down as a script first. That's how I learned how to do it, and see like what sounds funny when I say it. Like even like changing a word, or using like the synonym of a word you were already using just because it sounds funnier. Learning how, just like, yeah, learning how to utilize things sounding funny and then you saying them naturally and having that marry in a nice way.
Yeah. So
Does that make sense?
it does make sense. So it's basically becoming at ease and comfortable with something that is designed to provoke laughter.
Totally. Yeah, you don't, I mean, some people want to go up there and sound like a comedian, and that's the news kind of thing.
Mm.
And other people want to sound as if they're having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's the kind of comedy that I liked, was like conversational or totally absurd character. Like those were the types that I liked.
Yeah. What I like about your style is you do just kind of jokes just sort of fly out of your mouth in ways that you could miss them if you're not paying close enough attention.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Okay. So what was the year of this first open mic?
This was November 2010.
Wow. So you've been doing this for a decade now.
I know I have. Yeah, I think I definitely started before I was 21, but I did have a fake ID.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anyone that's good at what they do has one, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. So so you were doing open mics for a while. At what point did you decide that this was your calling it? Like, at what point did you realize this is something that I could like go all in on, as opposed to just a kind of a passing occasional like hobby in addition to whatever else you were doing?
Yeah. I don't know if there was any one point. I think it like I became more as years went on, I felt more validated based on like the shows that I was being booked on.
Mm.
So, if I got booked on The Business, which was the big show in San Francisco, the big alt show, I knew I was doing something right, because everyone I liked was being booked on those shows. And then I got to start performing at the Punchline and Cobb's. I'm like, okay, well, I'm good enough for a paying audience, and that must mean something, that someone is trusting me with their money. Which is like, it sucks to be validated by money, but that's the capitalist world we live in, Deacon. And yeah, so I think around maybe like three years in, after doing open mics and shows pretty consistently every night, and like my friend circle becomes, 75% comedians, and I'm feeling for the first time like, oh, this is a community of people who I really can vibe with, and I have never felt that way before. And it's not only is it a community of people who are all kind of who are all doing the same thing, but they're not all necessarily like-minded. So it's all these different kinds of people. It just felt like a really special community where there are very few communities in the arts that I feel like are like that, where people from like all sorts of different backgrounds converging to say dick jokes in different ways, you know.
Yeah, like I guess the dick joke is universal.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that is kind of this lovely comedian utopia that you've conjured up for us. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm gonna go back to the timeline, but you did you've moved to LA and New York since then. Um, do you get the same feeling from the LA scene or from the New York scene that you did from that kind of close hominess of the San Francisco comic scene?
I think I um I don't think I do. I mean, now I don't, and I think I've felt less and less of that as the longer I've done it. Only because, initially you want to be friends with everyone,
Mm.
and then over the years you quickly learn who is dangerous or who is kind of a shitty person. And just like with anything, you just have to be around people long enough to figure out who are actually your friends.
Mm.
So my circle has gotten smaller, and I've gotten more jaded, I think.
Mm.
And when you're first starting out and stand up, like all you want to do is stand up and focus on the positives and hang out with other comedians and just be fully in it. And at a certain point, I think I had to be like, I have to like live a life too. Like I won't have anything to talk about if I'm just doing stand up every day and not like going out and living in the world. Um so
So even as a stand-up comic, you're saying that finding a good life-work balance is still a difficult thing to do.
it is, because it blurs the line. Like it doesn't feel like you're working. But in actuality, you are spending a lot of time and energy on this one thing, and all the people you're around, whether or not you're on stage or off, are comedians. So it's your whole life, um, which which makes sense to me in the beginning, because you kind of, with anything, you have to like throw yourself into it
Mm.
and totally focus on it if you want to be good at it. um but yeah, almost like, after a while you want to be a little more well-rounded,
Mm.
and you want to explore relationships with people who don't have to riff constantly or whatever, or who don't need constant validation in that way. People who are just like, civilians, as comedians, dumb comedians call normal people.
I'm a civilian in your eyes. That makes me feel so happy.
You are a civilian, and I salute you.
I'll continue buying your war bonds.
Oh, thanks. Don't forget to grow your own potatoes.
Okay, so to jump back to like 2013, you've got a community. You're actually you're actually doing paying gigs.
Mm.
Uh, are you at this point like booking those yourself? Like, do you have anybody that's like helping you like manage this financially, or is this something you kind of figured out and did all on your own?
No, I did it on my own. And they say that it takes 10 years to start making money at stand up, whether that's like from getting a writing job from your comedy, or starting to act, or to like being an actual touring stand up. So no one started managing me until like 4 years ago or 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And so when I was still in San Francisco and coming up, I was doing it all myself, you know.
Mm.
I'm like scheduling shows, asking to get on shows. Luckily, I had a lot of friends who were running shows. And then festivals came into play, so I would submit myself to festivals like Bridgetown and Portland and San Francisco Sketch Fest. You know, which costs money to submit.
Mm.
So it's like, you know, I'm working a day job. I'm barely making like just enough money for rent. I've kind of stopped stealing from Whole Foods at this point. I can now afford to buy food. Um, you know, no, I was really bad at managing money, and I was very much of the mind, and I still kind of am, of like, you know, I'm just gonna live for today. I just want to have fun, and if that means, you know, buying a round of beers for everyone so we can hang out a little longer, that's what I'm gonna do. So that's how I managed my money, was buy rounds of beer for my friends who didn't have day jobs and were just trying to make it doing comedy.
Yeah, I mean, that is a worthwhile expenditure, I think, almost all of the time when you can afford it.
I think so too. That and traveling is what I spent my money on.
Yeah. So why did you decide to go for an agent at the time that you did?
Well, I had started taking meetings with these kind of random managers. I got a manager first. I only recently got an agent. So a manager is a person who usually, I guess, I don't know what the even really the difference is, but I think it's like managers help you cultivate your brand. I know, gross, but that's just what it is. And they say, like, you know, what do you want to do? Like, in the grand scheme of things, what do you want to do? And you list your goals, and they kind of push you towards that, or introduce you to people who could make that happen, um, set up auditions, blah, blah, blah. And I think this was when I think I had moved to LA at this point. Yeah. Yes. I was living in LA, and I had a couple of, what is it called? Credits. So the whole thing is like, you don't really get attention from managers or agents until you have credits, which is like a TV spot, or have been spotted at a festival. So I think I had done enough festivals, and I think I had done that Viceland show.
Oh, the Flophouse?
Flophouse. Yeah. And then I got a manager from that.
So you had already like met Lance Bangs then before you had a manager.
Yes.
Yeah, which I am curious, how did you, because you've listed a lot of comics, your world is primarily comedy,
Hmm.
but there is definitely like a point where it felt like you were like an indie rock musician didn't that didn't play music. Like y- like like how did you, yeah, first how did you align with Lance Bangs? Like did he find you?
Oh,
Did you find him?
he found me. Well, I've been aware of him and the stuff that he's done before, and you know, we had mutual friends. But he had put on a showcase at Bridgetown one year, and I can't remember. I think someone maybe recommended me for that showcase, and I got on it, and he liked my stand-up, and then we became friends. And he wanted to work together, and I was like, yeah, sure. Uh, and he was super supportive. He's very supportive of up and coming comedians and musical artists. I mean, he hung out with you know, the Odd Future crew
Mhm.
way back when, and just he likes to be where the new thing is happening.
Mhm.
That's very much his thing. He's like always going to the hot new underground whatever. Yeah, and I got to be a part of that.
That is awesome. I also, just a side personal note, I was looking at my Facebook memories, and yesterday was the day that you connected me with him, because I did, when I interviewed his wife, Corin Tucker,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't understand what she was saying when she said the name of a band. And and it popped up in my Facebook memories of you going, "Hey Lance, can you help him?"
I remember that. Did you ever figure out what the band was?
Yes, because Lance Bangs told me. Uh,
Wow.
and now I can't remember offhand, so I'm going to have to edit it in right here. Earthworms is the name of the band I'm referencing here, from Athens, Georgia. Okay, there was the name of the band. Uh, but yeah, so you spent some time with Lance Bangs. You also opened a lot of shows for, man, I wish I brought my notes with me, because I'm Jawbreaker. Why did I forget Jawbreaker?
just two shows.
Okay, it's two shows, but it's two very were very there were two very high profile shows, because they're in different parts of the country, and they were like Jawbreaker's like first show in that area in a long time. But anywho, like,
Yeah.
how did you end up joining the Jawbreaker family for a couple of gigs?
Well, Adam Fowler, the drummer for Jawbreaker, was the owner of Last Weekend Video in San Francisco. And Last Weekend Video had Cinecave, which was the what's it called? Like a basement venue.
Hmm.
A really, really small basement venue. You've been there. And
Yeah.
I think it might have been George Chen's idea to start doing comedy down there. George Chen, another comic from the Bay. So he started booking shows down there. And then it just kind of became a hub for San Francisco comedians. And from that, Adam Fowler got to know all of us. And we've been friends ever since. And yeah, so when Jawbreaker was getting back together, for some reason he wanted to have comedians open for him, which I thought was very cool. But I also knew that Jawbreaker's audience wasn't like the most lighthearted. Not really lighthearted punks, more on the emotional side. Less of a comedy fan crossover base than Say Yo La Tango. So yeah, I got to do that, and that was crazy. I opened for them at Brooklyn Steel, which is a huge venue in Brooklyn, big warehouse type, like airplane hangar type place, and then the Fillmore, which was even crazier because I got to have my name on a Fillmore poster, but they spelled it wrong. But it's still fine because I got to be on a Fillmore poster.
Yeah, on a side note, one of the friends I was at that show with, who missed your set,
Great.
but he actually like gave somebody shit for that.
Oh, really?
Like
Wow.
like he saw the misspelling on the poster and he was furious, and I have no idea who he talked to, but he was like, "Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, this is."
Is this someone I know?
Yes, but we're not naming names on this podcast.
Well, I appreciate them.
Yeah, otherwise I would have made you list off all of the names of people that were terrible in the different scenes you've been a part of.
No, never.
Yeah. So, all right. So, jumping back, so you have both an agent and a manager, and so do the agent and manager work with each other? Like, how does
Well,
that?
I just got an agent this year. So I've had a manager for a few years. I've got an agent this year. I think specifically because it's a New York agent. So they had seen me perform here a couple of times and liked what they saw and decided to sign me. And also I had had started writing for Shrill, which is the show on Hulu. So that's what caught the agency's eye, which is, Claire's making money now, and we can make money off of her.
All right.
While also facilitating her career, helping her career, and giving her more opportunities.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm imagining somebody blowing bubbles into your beer and then siphoning off the extra bubbles that get made.
yeah, it's a little like it's a 10% bubble siphoning. Uh, and that's fine with me because it opens a lot of doors. Um, so they do work together in that, like, say an opportunity comes up and one will ask the other if they think it's a good idea to like submit me for something, or if a deal, quote unquote, comes along, they, I don't know, either they both have different insight on whether it's a good or bad deal or blah blah blue blue. Um, Also, like, if one client of theirs is working on something, then and they think I could be a part of it, I do that. Yeah, I really truly have no fucking idea. Um, all I know is that they help me, and that I have to. It pressure. It puts me under pressure to keep working, which is a
Eh,
good thing.
Yeah. So to roll back a little, uh, San Francisco to LA to New York. Why did you move to LA, and then why did you move to New York again?
I moved to LA because I was dating someone who lived there. I was dating a comedian,
Mm.
and we were long distance. And I finally was like, yeah, okay, I'll move to LA. I'd always wanted to move to New York, but I was like, I'll move to LA. I guess I know enough people there, and I had a great time there. It was like, everyone was super friendly. The scene was really fun. The weather was nice, but too nice, in my opinion. And I only left LA uh, because it was just the timing of it. Like, I ended up breaking up with that boyfriend after, I think, like 4 years or 5 years. And I was like, I've always wanted to move to New York. Why don't I just move now? Because I have to move out. And I had gotten, my grandma had just passed away, and I had gotten a little money from her. Um, and so I had enough money to move. I had this period of time where I wasn't going to be, where I had to move out of this LA house. And I was like, yeah, I'll just go. And I went. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So it wasn't like a career choice. It was just, this is where I want to be.
Yeah. To me, the scenes in either city felt pretty similar. Um, now being here for a while, I can say they're a little different, but I think it might just be where I'm at now, having done it for so long and being around other people who have done it for so long. Again, the vibe is very, like, a little more jaded, a little more serious, but also more comfortable, you know, in you with your voice, like knowing that you are good at something.
Mm.
And so you start being around, you start hanging around people, more people who know they're good at something, and either that's like a good thing or a bad thing. That could be a good vibe or a bad vibe. So anyway, on a tangent. Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was just like, I know people in New York, I know people in LA, I know enough people in New York where I can get on shows, um, and I can meet more people and make it work.
Right. That that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we spent a lot of time talking about your life as a live comic.
Mhm.
Uh, at what point did you start deciding that you wanted to write, like write without performing?
Mhm. Uh, well, the first writing job I got was like a fluke essentially. So it was for SpongeBob, and a friend of mine had become the head writer, like a a friend of mine being the neighbor of my boyfriend at the time.
Mm.
So he hired me and my boyfriend and Solomon Giorgio, and it was the first time SpongeBob had like a writer's room, actual writer's room. Usually, I think it was all like storyboard based and artist based. But this was like, we have writers here who are comedic writers. And that job was weird, but I felt like I was good at it and like I knew how to do it. Um, it still wasn't validating enough because it was so like, it was like my first writing job on this huge thing, and I still technically don't know what I'm doing,
Mm.
but I know that given the right environment, I think I could be good at it.
Mm. So you're pushed into the deep end in a show that takes place underwater.
And that's good, Bacon.
Thank you,
Good
thank you.
connection.
I'm so proud of that one, and your your validation here really means a lot to me.
Good, good. Um, yeah, it was just a good feeling to write something and then, seeing it produced was even cooler. And knowing that what I wrote worked, because everyone, obviously feels like a fraud the first time they do anything, unless they're fucking crazy assholes and are confident already. But that was a fluke, and then I didn't write for anything for a long time because that wasn't really like, it wasn't a WGA job, which is the union, the writers union, and I just didn't have like a writing sample for, comedy, like a comedy show, and I just didn't know what do I do with this credit? I didn't know what to do. This is before I had a manager and everything. I was like, who do I talk to where are the jobs? Who gives the jobs? So yeah, I spent like at least 5 years in between writing jobs, just farting around and working at places, working at a butcher shop, working at a burger shop, very meat heavy couple of years, all the while doing stand up. And then 2 years ago, I guess now, I got to have a meeting with Adie Bryant, who's the lead in Shrill. Her husband is a friend of mine and recommended me to her to be a writer. And we met at a diner, and I think it was just she wanted to make sure I wasn't cuckoo or weirdo. Weird bad. Obviously, I'm
Yeah.
weird good. And and that went well. And then I got to start writing on that show.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I remember watching Shrill and going, "Wait, is that Claire?"
That's you squeaking your eyes.
Yes, and since this is all audio, Claire was putting her fists in front of her eyes and gently kind of rocking them
uh,
back and forth.
cartoon style.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, and then there's somehow just a giant starburst that said "Whoa" behind her.
Yeah, yeah. Whoa, bam. Yeah, there's cars are crashing behind me.
Yeah, well, it's a New York apartment. I get it.
You got it.
Okay. So you have basically two TV writing credits to your name that were 5 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and yeah, I guess that kind of takes us to today because yeah, you've done a lot of stand up. You've put out a record.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but since a lot of your career is live, what is it that you're doing right now during this dark, dark time where being in front of people isn't possible?
Uh, I have done some Zoom shows, and I will say, it's not the same. Uh, it is nice, a nice change of pace always especially when it's a show where you can hear people laughing, which is not always the case on these internet shows. But I think for now, at this point, I just finished writing on the second season of Shrill, feeling pretty validated, pretty good about writing. I think I'm just gonna start focusing on that. And I've spent, yeah, basically a decade focusing primarily on this one thing. And now it's led to these other things. And I'm like, I think I would like to spend more time on these other things. Yeah, definitely not doing something for a long time puts it in perspective when you can't do something. And then feeling like I don't necessarily miss it, which I think is a sign that I should probably take a break from it. And luckily, while we have the world gets to take a break from stand up, and so I'm just taking this time to 50% do nothing, 50% think about what I want the rest of my career to look like, and start writing maybe things on my own.
Yeah, so this is the fifth one of these that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
You're the first person to say that they're happy to take a break
From the thing.
from the thing.
Yeah, definitely am. Especially it's such a, like I said, it's like an every night thing, and it is kind of emotionally draining when depending on the person, how much are you putting on each show to make you feel good? You know what I mean? Like you can't depend on a comedy show to validate your existence, because if you do and you have a bad set, you're going to feel like the world is over. So I have to seek that validation and those feelings from becoming a better person, becoming mindful, and trying all sorts of different things.
That is beautiful. That is one of the more profound ways I've heard of looking at all of this right now.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm surprised I'm making any sense because I haven't eaten yet.
Wait, you haven't eaten yet? It's almost 6 over there.
Well, I haven't eaten my dinner.
Okay, that
Mm.
makes more sense.
And I had a light lunch, or light early. Forget it. I haven't eaten for a couple hours. I need to eat.
Fair enough. You're not eating one meal a day at the end of your
Yeah,
day.
yeah. Exactly.
All right. Well, Claire, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to have a chat with little old me. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Is there anything you'd like to say to the dozens of people that listen to this podcast?
Uh, Feel free to follow me on social media, at Baby's First Gun on Twitter, and at Claire is O'Kane on Instagram. And feel free to also buy my album Let It Be. You'll find that very easily. Just type in Google Let It Be, and it should pop up right there at the top.
Mhm.
And yeah, otherwise, be well, listeners.
So will you be putting out a stripped down version of Let It Be 40 years later called Let It Be Naked?
Yes.
Okay, good.
100%. 100%.
That's a joke that the people that listen to this would get.
Exactly.
All right. On that note, enjoy your evening. Enjoy your dinner.
Thanks. You enjoy your late lunch if you haven't eaten yet.
I did eat before this, or else this would have gone really off the rails.
Ah, great.
Sorry. All right. All right. It was good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me, Dakin.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.